And good day, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope you're having a good day with your families. And I just wanted to come on and just talk about something that I think is very important when it comes to living with purpose. Learning how to set boundaries and sticking to those boundaries that you've set. Now, it's one thing to say that you're going to set boundaries, but it's something totally different I've learned to stick to them. Because what a lot of people do is when they set a boundary, someone will come along and they'll try to sweet talk them or whatever, and they'll say, "Oh, well, I just want to help you, or I'm always here for you." And then the person lets their guard down, and then they start giving in little by little until there's no boundaries, until the line has been blurred so much they have no way of preventing that person from basically taking hold. And that's what happens. When you set a boundary, or when I set a boundary, we have to be firm and say, no, you're not going to be a moderator on my channel. You've already shown me that you're not trustworthy, and that's how it's going to work. And it's not just with YouTube, it's with life in general. Sometimes you have to set boundaries with people, and that's important. Sometimes you have to set firm, clear boundaries, and you have to tell people, no, I'm not giving you access to that. Because there are things in your life that people do not deserve access to. They do not deserve access to certain parts of your life because that's your life and you control what people have access to. Now, people who overshare, and oversharing is a killer of joy, because if you overshare too much, you can damage what doors are opening if you overshare too much. When you overshare too much, then people start saying, "Oh, I wonder how that happened," or "I wonder," and they start to dig and they start to probe, and sometimes they start to make things up, and then it gets you in a bad place. That's the reason why I don't tell a lot of the things that happen in my life, because I don't want to overshare. And it's very tempting to overshare. Oversharing is very, very dangerous. And you got to be able to think about what you want to share. This goes hand in hand with setting boundaries. You're the only one that has the power to control what information people have. And what a lot of people do is sometimes they overshare too much, and then they want to know, oh, well, why is everyone getting in my business or whatever? Because you told them. And sometimes I have to be reminded, you don't have to tell everybody everything. Not everybody needs to know what you're doing. Not everybody needs access to your life. Would you give someone access to your credit card information? Would you give somebody access to the deed to your house? No, you wouldn't. You'd put it in a safety deposit box or somewhere. That's nobody's business. So why are people oversharing and then complaining when people start snooping around and trying to dig? And this is a part of living with purpose. Sometimes you have to deny people certain information until whatever that thing is comes to fruition. So, for example, your boss might call you into his office or her office and say, hey, you're up for a promotion in a couple of weeks. You wouldn't be going home telling everybody, oh, I'm up for a promotion and I'm up for a promotion. I'm up for a promotion. Because once you start bragging about that, some of your coworkers that might not be up for that promotion might try to turn you into HR or try to make something up, and then boom, it becomes a trap instead of a blessing. So what you do is your boss calls you in and says, hey, you're up for a promotion. Keep it to yourself. And then once you have the promotion, then people will be like, how did he get that? How did she get that? We never thought this would happen, or we never saw this coming. So always keep your dreams private. Not everybody needs to know what's happening. A lot of people don't realize what happens when they overshare. When they overshare and they talk about what they're doing instead of just letting the chips fall where they may, that's where they get in trouble. That's where they get into trouble. Now, what some people will do that don't respect boundaries, they'll try to manipulate and they'll say, "Oh, I've always been here for you. I've always respected you." But some people, they're pinning and pitting us against one another. It's a manipulation tactic that some people use to try and gain access to your growth and to what you're about. Because they know they're toxic, but they're not happy unless they're stirring the pot. And you know the ones I'm talking about. The Hooverer, that one person who, when you basically tell them no, oh, they'll back off for a little while, and then all of a sudden they'll start coming around. They'll start leaving nice little comments on your Facebook, or they'll start leaving nice little comments on your YouTube channel telling you how proud they are. and then they'll slowly try to inch their way in because they think, oh, well, he's going to let me in or she's going to let me in. Doing the Hoover tactic. Because they're trying to get information out of you or they're trying to get you to talk. Because they know you're successful and it's eating them alive because they're not successful. They are wanting to take credit for something that you've been working for or taking credit for something that God is doing in your life and they want the credit for it. And that's when you have to tell that person that's doing that, no, you're not having access to my joy. You're not having access to my peace. I want nothing more to do with you because you're dealing in chaos. You're not living with purpose. You want to talk about living with purpose, but you're not actually doing it. It's very easy to talk about purpose, but the living it is what really matters. Are you actually, doing what you say? If you're done with internet drama and YouTube drama, do you mean it? Are you commenting on other people's drama streams? Are you engaging in the live chats? Bashing people? Or have you truly walked away? Can you actually click on a drama stream, listen to a few minutes of it, and say, oh, okay, this isn't for me. I'm living differently now. I need to turn this off. Or do you listen a little longer, waiting for something juicy to come out, waiting for some gossip to come out so that you can then go back and say, oh, did you hear what so-and-so said about you? If you're truly done with it, be done with it. Be done with it. And I can sit here and say that because in December of 2024, December 1st of 2024, I made a choice. I made a choice. I am done with YouTube drama. I am done with that. It's not getting me anywhere. I want something different. And once I made that choice and walked away from that nonsense, look at everything that's happening in my life now. I no longer feel any pressure. I no longer feel any need to defend myself. I no longer feel like I need to call anyone out. When I just washed my hands of the whole thing and I started focusing on different things, scripture says to focus on, it says, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, set your heart on these things. That's what scripture says. And it makes you a lot happier when you start focusing on good things and you start focusing on other things that lift you up, that edify you. edify means build up, that build you up, that make you happy, that make you joyful, then you start realizing all that nonsense that you were engaged in before, it's just that. It's nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. So, you know, and yeah, you know what? I don't have anybody in my chats when I go live. But you know what? I actually like it this way. I'd rather have 0 people in my live chats and talk about what I'm talking about today, living with purpose, than 50 people tearing someone else down. Folks, I was a part of that. And while you're actually in that and you're actually doing the live streams, calling people out and everything like that, oh, yeah, it feels good in the moment. You feel justified in the moment. But I can tell you from personal experience, when you turn off that live stream and you get in bed and it's just you and your thoughts, you feel cheap because that's no, because that, because you know that's not how God wanted you to be. That's just like a Twitch streamer that I follow on Twitch. Her name is Kira Kitty, and she's from Singapore. And she was doing a lot of content on her channel that was sexual in nature. And one day she made a choice that she was going to stop showing her body in a sexual way. And yeah, she lost viewers, but you know what? She's happier. And she feels better about herself. Wow. And guys, I was there for all of it. I would go into her live streams on Twitch and she would be talking about her body and everything like that. And I would just sit there and listen. And then one day, I went to her YouTube channel and she had posted a video, I'm moving on. And she said that she was no longer going to talk about herself in a sexual manner. I mean, she had guys just hanging around her live stream, wanting to go on, just wanting to talk to her dirty and everything else. And now She don't have that no more. I've seen a complete change in this woman, a complete change. And she's a young woman. She's like 25, 26 years old. And folks, you know when someone is changing. You know when they've changed. Because you can actually tell in their demeanor. And you can tell the things that they talk about. If you truly want to change, if you truly want to change, will you make the decision to change for the better? Will you make the change for the better? Or will I make the change for the better? And living with purpose is a daily process. It's an every moment of everyday process. And you have to think to yourself, if I listen to this or if I engage in this conversation, am I living with purpose? Am I living the way that I know is right for me? Am I doing what's right? Am I doing what I know is right, or am I just giving into peer pressure? And it's very easy to give into peer pressure, especially when someone says, "Oh, hey, um, talk about so and so." You know, we don't like this content you're doing, so go back to talking about this person or go back to bashing this person. It got you more views. It's very easy to give in and talk about somebody else and bash them. It's very easy to do. But my question is, why would I want to do that when I've got all these great things happening in my life? I mean, I'm being nominated, I've been nominated to be a global messenger, and I just got the email like a week ago. I mean, how would that look if I am supposed to be a global messenger for Special Olympics, and yet I'm going on screaming and yelling at somebody that I don't even know over the internet? It would be hypocritical and it would be wrong, and I'm not going to do that. I've literally had to basically cut people out and say, no, I don't want to engage in that anymore. I don't want to go to drama streams. I want nothing to do with them. Like there are people that I'm friends with that have YouTube channels that do drama streams, and I won't even go. I won't go to them. I mean, when I was doing drama on other YouTube channels I had in the past, I would get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people in my chat, and I could rant for hours. And I could raise my voice and just start yelling and screaming, and like I could do that for 3 hours straight. And folks, it was wrong. And I'm ashamed of that. But you know what? I learned from it. That's what's made me a better person today, because I took what I learned and I applied it. Just because somebody talks about somebody or whatever, it doesn't make them right. Just because somebody's claiming that you're a white knight does not mean that you have to constantly defend yourself. I mean, I've had people tell me that, man, RJ, you don't ever talk about so and so no more. You don't ever talk about this person or that person no more. And they're still in the drama, and they won't leave me alone. And I'm like, well, ignore them. That's all you can do is ignore them, because once you start ignoring these people that want to drag you back in, they start getting the hint. Okay, maybe we need to leave this creator alone because they're just not biting. I still have 0 viewers. Why? Because I'm not talking about drama. And guess what? That makes me feel good, actually. That makes me feel good because I'm doing what I know is right. But I know this is going to be a recorded, a pre-recorded video. It's going to turn into a VOD once I stop this stream. And I know that someone's going to be out there listening to this. And if you're engaged in needless YouTube drama, may I encourage you to make a decision today to leave it behind. And I mean truly leave it behind. Don't talk about them. Don't reference them. Don't even talk about them for example purposes. Because once you start doing that, you're going to just bring yourself right back down to that, to their level. That's all you do. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing and turning on that bell for all notifications and smashing that like button, commenting on the VOD when it becomes a VOD, leaving me a comment, and also share this. There's a share button down below, and you can press that. And if you have the community tab, share it out on the community tab. Because guess what? More people need to hear this. More people need to hear this information. This is good information. Set boundaries and stick to them. Set boundaries and stick to them and mean it. Because it's the only way that you can have true peace and live with purpose. That's it.